First of all, people should be capable of speaking on any topic. Once they're okay with the content, they can work on the additional things. No, that is what the point.
Yes, yes. If they will directly turn on to the advanced level, then maybe they feel it's boring and difficult. So maybe they can drop.
That happens, and also people just messed up the things. How I'm telling you. For example, if your rice is not ready, rice is the base. So if your rice is not ready, but you are having a lot of curries, so किसके साथ आप खाएंगे curry? So
Yes,
okay, once your
that's
rice is ready, then whatever what kind of curries you are making, that would be additional for that. So that is how
mhm.
the if your structures are good, content you have already, then you can add some additional vocabs. That would be really fancy and interesting for the listeners.
Okay, so good evening. How are you? Like, how was your day?
Yeah, good evening. I'm good. What about you? And how is it?
Yeah, I'm also good. As we have discussed that we will talk about uh, what should we do to be an advanced learner English in English. So let's discuss on this topic.
Yeah. Would you like to start or shall I?
I think you should start.
Okay, so whenever we talk about advanced level, so there are a few things we have to keep in our mind. First of all, people are generally some are beginner or some are intermediate level speaker, or mostly you'll find people are of a intermediate level. And while speaking, what people, the major problem which people have, either they are not good at framing sentences because of the structures, the basic grammatical knowledge, or they don't have the proper ideas or words while speaking. Normally, when it comes to normal conversation, anyone can speak confidently. But when it comes to speaking on different kind of topics, then people find it really challenging because of lack of idea, I must say. So that is what people need to do. That they should be start speaking on different kind of topics. And secondly, what happens sometimes, you will not get the proper words at the right time while expressing. For example, you are making some food. There are some masalas like jeera hai, elaichi hai, and you don't know what we call in English cumin and cardamom, cinnamon. So these are some words which we are not aware of, or maybe we know in our native, but when it comes to expressing in English, we don't get that instantly. So either words or ideas. These are the basic things which people need to focus on if they want to enter into the advanced level.
Yes, definitely. I
Did
absolutely
you face
agree.
situation?
Sorry, what did you say?
Uh, have you ever faced a situation that where you didn't get the right word or structure while speaking?
Yeah, I have faced many times actually because what happens, we know the meaning, we know the vocabulary of that particular bird, but sometimes it happens that we don't get at the time when we speak. Maybe this is because we are doing so many activities in our mind, like we are translating the sentence. Maybe it is very fast, but we translate the sentence. It is very fast, so we don't realize that we are translating, but we translate somehow we translate from our native language to English. And when we
Yeah,
translate, so this process also going on in our mind, um, and sometimes don't know why, but words not come at that time. But after, when we realize that, oh my god, this is very familiar word for me, but I was stuck at that time. So yeah, that
yeah,
happens.
yeah. I do agree with that.
And
No,
by practice, I think this can be reduced by practice, because when you practice and when you deal with lots of words, so definitely word will come in your mind automatically when you speak regular basis.
mhm, I do agree. And there are some other things also. Whenever we talk about advanced level of speaking, there are certain idioms, phrases, and some advanced words also which people prefer to use while talking. Uh, because
Yes,
whenever we talk about newspaper and news channel, and there are some advanced level of speakers which where they prefer advanced level of things. So initially, if you're okay with all the basic level of things, then you can switch to the next level. But it is not advisable for all because people don't know what is their level of speaking. So first of all, people should be capable of speaking on any topic. Once they're okay with the content, they can work on the additional things. No, that is what the point.
Yes, yes. If they will directly turn on to the advanced level, then maybe they feel it's boring and difficult. So maybe they can drop.
That happens, and also people just messed up the things. How I'm telling you. For example, if your rice is not ready, rice is the base. So if your rice is not ready, but you are having a lot of curries, so किसके साथ आप खाएंगे curry? So
Yes.
okay, once your
Yes.
rice is ready, then whatever what kind of curries you are making, that would be additional for that. So that is how
Mhm.
the if your structures are good, content you have already, then you can add some additional vocabs. That would be really fancy and interesting for the listeners. So that
Actually, someone was like we were discussing on that topic that grammar is important for learning English or not. So I said yes. At like if you are pouring yourself into English, so at that time maybe grammar is not that much important. But as it is not our native language, and so for that grammar is definitely somehow that is important because you will not find out that where you are making mistake if you don't have any idea of grammar. So
absolutely.
but she was saying like that grammar is not important. People can learn by listening only. So what do you think about it?
Well, it is really an interesting part when people do ask the question whether grammar is necessary or not. Okay.
Hmm.
The interesting fact is that whenever we talk about grammar, people do think that means direct speech, indirect speech, preposition, and part of speech. These are grammar,
Hmm.
and then understand what grammar is. Normally, I'm saying any example you can take any sentence that uh, he is eating rice. Okay, so in this sentence, he is the subject, is the verb, and rice is the object. So how did you know that? Because you have studied that subject, then the sequence is first subject would be there, then the helping verb, then objective or object or any other thing. If there is any need of preposition, we use that. So how did you know? Because you know all those part of speech. There are 8 part of speech and all those
Yeah,
things.
but she was saying like for learning language, it is not important to learn grammar and sentences and structures. Everything you can just learn by listening and speaking only. When you talk with someone, so you will definitely have that idea that you can learn by listening.
Yeah, that makes sense up to some extent because we can learn speaking by listening. So speaking, listening is also necessary. When you're listening something, you can repeat. How?
Yes.
For example, आपको
Observe
गाना
also. We
हाँ?
observe also. We observe things like, yeah, he used this sentence like this, so we can repeat it.
Let me clarify what the point is. Point is that why people to say, and that is true, but that is half truth. When you are listening something, mm, that is true. That अगर आपको गाना गाना नहीं आता, दूसरों को ऑब्जर्व करके आप गाना गा सकते हैं, ठीक है? बट अगर हम सुर ताल की बात करें तो नो यू नीड टू नो द प्रॉपर थिंग फॉर एग्जांपल देयर इज अनदर पर्सन हु वांट्स यू टू आई मीन हु वांट आई मीन आपको उन्हें समझाना है ओके यू हैव टू मेक देम अंडरस्टैंड कि व्हाई so just to make them understand you need to know the grammar if you don't know then it would be really hard for you to make them understand so for better understanding you need to know the structures but for normally speaking even street vendors are speaking by listening tourist guides are also speaking by listening so if you want
Yes.
correction or the corrected version of speaking communication, then you need to learn the grammar. Normally, if you just want to learn speaking only for speaking for the sake of speaking, then it is okay to go without grammar.
Hmm. But for learning without grammar, also it needs lots of like dedication and all. If you are learning only by listening, so you have to give lots of time. Like you have to surround yourself with English.
So there is another thing you will find it funny and interesting at the same time. For example, there are 5 speakers. Okay, and एक स्पीकर बोल रहा है स्ट्रक्चर के साथ एक स्पीकर ऊपर नीचे करके बोल रहा है मतलब कोई ग्रामर नहीं कोई टेंस की रूल नहीं पास्ट को प्रेजेंट में कर रहा है प्रेजेंट को पास्ट में कर रहा है तो आपको कैसे पता चलेगा कि ये अच्छा स्पीकर है ये पास्ट प्रेजेंट कर रहा है इसको आइडिया नहीं है because you know the grammar that's why you are able to identify that it is a good speaker or she is a good speaker and another is not so while listening also we have to focus on the authentic speakers जैसे कि आपको अगर हिंदी सीखनी है ठीक है आई रिपीट इट मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम कि अगर आपको हिंदी सीखनी है तो जिनको हिंदी अच्छे से आते हैं उनसे सिखाओगे या फिर जिनको नहीं आते उनके पास जाके आप बोलो कि मेरे को सिखाओ टूटी-फूटी हिंदी तो आप
Yes.
नहीं सीख तो वैसे ही जब हम सुनते भी हैं, तो हम जैसे कि गाने का नाम ले लो, ठीक है? यू आर लर्निंग सिंगिंग, so you will be listening अरिजीत सिंह और टोनी कक्कर. That
it, dep- it depends on people's choice.
choices are there, but normally when we talk about singing, Sonu Nigam is also there, and Shreya Ghoshal and a lot of singers are there. So why we go
Yes.
for authentic source? Because they have that label. Okay,
Hmm.
that's how the English is. We have to listen good speakers. ऐसा नहीं कि हर किसी को सुन ले जिसको ग्रामर नहीं आता और वो हमें सिखा देगा. No, we need
Yes.
to from the better learners or teachers. That's how it is.
Yes. But most important thing is practice. Without practice, nobody can learn to speak.
That's true.
So if someone is making mistake again and again, and if they don't want to learn grammar, so what should they do?
They either they should be listening some podcast. By observing, maybe they will be able to correct themselves. वरना अंग्रेजी सीखना छोड़ दें. 3 बार जाएंगे. अरे no, Hindi is also Hindi is also enough to survive. You can go for any job, but in an MNC sector or private sector job, there is need for that sake of purpose. I mean, for that purpose only they need to learn.
Hmm, yes. Actually, what happens, what is happening when you speak, your voice is clear, everything is clear, but sometimes like some word is missing when you speak.
Yeah, no, that is what I have observed also. I don't know what's wrong with this network. I have
Hmm.
recorded 6 videos till now. Out of that, only 2, 3
How
videos.
many? Six.
हाँ, 6 या 7 मैंने करी है. उसमें से I mean 3 videos are good. Rest of are no somehow some misuse, somehow some misuse.
Hmm, okay.
So what do you think?
So, okay. No, nothing. It is like it is understandable, so we can manage. Like we can understand because only one or two words are missing, so we can guess. It can be a riddle kind of thing that people have to guess what should be clear.
Well, I mean online platform is really good for learning. At the same time, network and other things you have to focus on. If those are good, then you will get free of cost. Or sometimes you have to have some struggling situations.
Yes, because of network, like people waste their time, lots of time, their time waste sometimes because of network issue.
Place also is really hard for my
You
place.
were not audible at that time. Please repeat. What did
Okay,
you say?
but your place is really
Now,
far.
yeah, when you start speaking, don't know what happens. Like you are not audible.
Okay. Now is it fine?
Yes.
Okay, no, I was just saying that your place is really far from my place. It's maybe more than 1,000 kilometers. So we never know. Maybe there is some glitch in between or Wi-Fi is not working. So what should I blame? Or whom should I blame? I guess I should.
I think it's not about Wi-Fi. It's about this app. This app sometimes create issue.
I understand. While turning on camera also, it takes a lot of time.
Yes. When we start recording, so our camera automatically like turn off. Then we have to turn on, turn off, this kind of things. Okay. Nice. So what should we discuss on now?
अच्छा मेरे को
What
बताइए आप
what advice? Okay. So what advice do you want to give me to improve my English?
well no what we do usually I ask some questions after listening to the answers I give some feedback regarding their speaking if they need an improvement but right now
Okay.
it would be really hard for me to observe your speaking and
Why?
I mean we have already done the half of the session so it would be taking some time I mean I need to write down some points and words in order to show you these are the words where you made mistake and so that you will remember it for longer period of time अगर मैं बोलूँगा तो आप भूल ही जाएँगे अचानक से, ठीक है? So that happens sometimes. So whenever we talk about speaking evaluation, it is more about observing yourself. I can guide you, I can let you know these are the points, but when you record your voice while speaking, you would be able to see the recap. Here I made mistake.
Yes, I always do it. Like whenever I edit my videos, I try to correct them. So most of the time when I find any mistakes, so I try to correct myself. And sometimes when I find, like, we know that at this point we were stucking, we were not, like, I was not finding right word at this time, so I try to recall that word.
Right, it happens with most of us. So if you're making minor mistake, it is okay. But if you're finding that no, you're making more mistakes, then you should rectify. So, and mostly we suggest the same thing to everyone, whoever is learning, whether it is me, you, or whatever the person or people those who are going to watch this video. What they need to do is recording while speaking, audio or video. You should do both also. So, I mean, these are the things which will be the practical way to learn something. And sometimes what happens, we make mistakes subconsciously. कि आपको पता नहीं चलता, but it happens. So,
Yes,
तो
but
खुद भी पता नहीं चले. When you
when we
record, you
record and listen ourselves, we can rectify our mistakes. Yes, definitely.
कभी कभी बहस भी हो जाती है. People will say, no, we didn't make any mistake.
Okay.
So I must say, you are your best teacher. We are just here to guide.
Yeah, actually I want to improve myself more and more, because whenever I sometimes I feel underconfident because of mistakes. Like if I make any mistakes, I cannot say confidently that I can speak this language. Yeah,
So
for
just,
that purpose.
it
And
happens.
hmm,
Speak well.
sometimes, like, most like we cannot learn each and every word, so some like my vocabulary is not so good.
I will give you some tips and tricks regarding that, how to remember some new words and which you can apply in your daily use or, I mean, daily life speaking. So I'll let you know the process. Before that, do let me know who is your favorite speaker. You might have watched a lot of videos and all. So generally, whom you follow?
If I talk about English,
Uh-huh.
so I hmm, I like to watch English Connection channel where Kanchan ma'am teaches,
Then,
and then, yes, I like the way she talk and her videos. And like currently I'm not following anyone, but I listen and watch randomly anyone. There is no anyone like particular person whom I follow.
mhm. Okay, okay, quite fine.
Yes. What happened?
Nothing. I'm observing that whether you're speaking or not.
I was thinking that you are going to say something, so I was
Oh,
listening. I was,
because
yeah.
you told me to correct me. So I observe one thing, one common mistake which everyone makes. That you said that I love the way she talks. तो सी के बाद टॉक्स लगता है ना थर्ड पर्सन सिंगुलर. तो लोग जनरली कहते हैं कि आई लव द वे शी टॉक. ये होता है मोस्टली लोगों के साथ, पता नहीं चलता, बट दिस इज अ माइनर थिंग.
Okay.
तो ऐसे छोटी छोटी चीजें होती है, बट ओवरऑल यू स्पीक रियली वेल, यू आर कॉन्फिडेंट एनफ, सो यू आर गुड टू गो. अगर छोटी छोटी गलतियां होती है, आई से मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम यू आर गुड टू गो, बिकॉज speaking is something, it is not authentic all the time. It is more about being
Yes.
expressive.
In
And
fact, when people speak Hindi and they are not Hindi speaker and they make mistakes, so people enjoy. People like to listen them because that is comfortable. They are comfortable in speaking and they are understandable also. We can understand them. So we know that they are making mistakes, but we enjoy when they speak.
we Indians are really concerned regarding English when it comes to spoken English. So, in हिंदी
We
में भी.
had made it like
Yeah,
Hawa.
हाँ सच बात है कि इतना नहीं है
Yes.
कि हम रखे हैं, ठीक है. जैसे कि ग्रामर को लेकर इतनी कंट्रोवर्सी होती है, मतलब ये क्या सवाल हुआ. आप बोलोगे कि मैं कोल्ड ड्रिंक्स पीता हूँ, तो पानी पीना जरूरी है क्या. I mean, what is the question? कोल्ड ड्रिंक्स बाद में आया, पानी पहले आया, तो ऑब्वियसली बिना पानी के जिंदा रह पाओगे क्या. लोग बोलेंगे नहीं, वी कैन गो फॉर आइस क्यूब्स. आइस क्यूब्स आर बेटर देन वाटर. नो, इज दैट Is there any sense of that? So people are really strange what kind of question they do ask.